welcome, wonderful people. This is Newfoundland and Labrador Studies 2205. This is Unit 3, The Country Grows. I'm Miss Fleming, and this is Section 3, Lesson 6, Video 1, on Early Organizations and Unionization. Before we begin, I would like for you to ponder what you already know about unions today. Additionally, ask yourself the following questions. If you owned a business, would you prefer if your employees were part of a union? And also, why are strikes sometimes necessary? I ask you these questions because some of you may already be in the workforce, and if you aren't, then you will soon be in the workforce yourself, and it's important to know what your thoughts are about unions, strikes, and workers' rights. After the Industrial Revolution and the rise of factories, many people worked for low wages in unsafe conditions. Over time, workers began to question their working conditions. This labor movement unfolded differently in Newfoundland and Labrador than in other places in North America. With the fishing industry, unionization was a slower process. Fishers and trappers were not wage earners. Their labor was exchanged for goods. And due to this pattern of settlement, most fishers and trappers worked in isolation with little opportunity to come together in large numbers and discuss their concerns. Eventually, formal societies and unions began. First was among craftspeople, skilled workers, and industrial workers, then the fishery. Let's talk about these early organizations first. The earliest formal workers' organizations were created by skilled workers and craftsmen. The Mechanics' Society was established in 1827 as a protective association, not a union yet. The society was concerned with worker welfare, establishing a sickness insurance plan plus death benefits. Initially, it included coopers, shoemakers, tailors, bookkeepers, and bakers. Later came sealers, who are depicted in the picture to the right, and they were members of the craftsmen unions. By the 1850s, many groups formed their own societies. Unfortunately, these associations did not have the authority to negotiate wages, but they tried to limit the availability of members' services by limiting apprenticeships, thus creating higher wages. This happened first among the highly skilled tradespeople involved in the fishery, shipwrights, caulkers, joiners, riggers, block makers, mast makers, sail makers, and coopers. Then came unionization. The first skilled craftsmen to organize into a union were shipwrights in 1851. Between 1886 and 1898, 18 new trade unions were established. Unions lobbied for higher wages, opposed wage reductions, and sought better and safer working conditions. The labor movement in Newfoundland expanded with the construction of the railway and the development of land-based industries. This was due to the investment of international corporations who already had unions, such as the Brotherhood of Papermakers. The Trade Union Act was passed in 1910, where local unions gained legal rights to negotiate on behalf of members. And by the end of the 19th century, many St. John's merchants had grown their companies to include many employees at various locations. Many workers organized themselves, including the Wabana Workmen's and Labourers Union in 1900 and the Newfoundland Industrial Workers Association in 1917. Now it's time to continue to the next video. Take a break if you need one, have a stretch and rest your eyes, and I'll see you in a bit.